Hello, I'm Richard Hammond, and I review cars for a living, which is just as well because NIO have invited me to review one. The last NIO I reviewed was the ET9, a large, luxury, very fast sedan. And now they've followed it up with the ES9. And there is one. And at first you'd say, well, that's easy, isn't it? That's a large, luxury SUV. But no, NIO claims something much bigger. They believe this car could be a large, luxury SUV, MPV and sedan, all in one package. That's a massive claim. That needs investigating. If you think I've started my serious investigation by going mad, I haven't, but I have started, because what I'm actually doing with the car right now is exploring one of the technical secrets behind NIO's claims for it. That it can do this is one of the reasons it can be what they believe it can be. This is serious work I'm doing. Yeah, this is odd. As a car reviewer, normally I would climb straight into the front seat, but today, no. I'm sitting in the back to start with because this car is claimed to be all about luxury. But what is luxury? It's space. Yeah, definitely. I've just walked into a large building and sat down. Speaking of sitting down, luxury is all about just being looked after and cosseted. What this car adds in is a foot massage. I've been looking forward to trying this. Oh, that's fantastic. It's a foot massage and a back massage. I'm told actually this seat folds completely flat, at which point it's 2.3 meters long. Seems kind of waste of me, but handy if you're a basketball. While I'm sitting here having my massage, obviously that's a private event, I can adjust on this button here the privacy glass, LCD crystals. Takes 1 point something seconds to adjust the brightness and darkness. You want to listen to music? There's 47 speakers in here, bass speakers all around me here. These tables, the way they've been designed, yeah, like business class on an aeroplane. But what I really appreciate, that is solid as a rock, and that's been achieved because somebody took the time to engineer in this piece here so it triangulates. So when you fold it flat, that comes out and keeps it absolutely solid. Let's talk suspension. So fully active hydraulic suspension, it's a pretty new thing because it's about speeds. For this, they wanted it to be faster because they're after comfort. It needs to make minute adjustments many times a second. So they mounted instead 4 smaller pumps, one at each wheel, which means it can react more quickly. It's a 48-volt system, so it has the electrical power to do that. And as a result, this is a sort of new area. We've been going over bridges. I actually didn't notice. The driver turned around and said, yeah, we've just done that bridge. Like a hump. I didn't even feel it because the car keeps itself level. Especially interesting, every NIO is feeding back information about the road surfaces. And if more than 4 NIO cars, of whatever version, sense, say, a pothole, that information will be uploaded centrally and distributed to all the other NIOs. If it's then repaired, and 4 or more NIO drive over that same patch of road where the bump's been identified and it's gone, that information is uploaded. So overnight, the car is learning. There are no bumps in the roads in China because the car is shielding me from them. Also, I don't really know when the driver's braking because the car doesn't dive because the suspension pushes and resists that. So I think the only way I'm going to really know what this is doing is to have a drive myself. Right, so I'm going to have my first drive of it. I'll put it in drive, and then I just pull away. Whoa! That's a lot of car moving very fast. But it sets off. There's no, it just moves away. This is where fully active suspension just changes everything. We're into some curves now. This will be a good opportunity to feel, yeah, you're not aware of a, normally you can feel a big heavy car pushing laterally on its tyres, wanting to go that way and leaning out, leaning too heavily on the outside tyre. I'm trying to describe, from the steering wheel, the driving experience becomes graceful. 100 years or more, cars just sat on springs. and we're just moving around freely. Suddenly now cars take control of their own body and the attitude of it. Yeah. That changes everything about it. So it's smoothing. There, I felt it then. As you come off the bump, it's pushing down just a little bit to level it out, going over lumpy tarmac and potholes. Yeah, that's incredible. That was cross. It feels, instead of going ow, 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 it's going like that, sort of floating over. So it's like a trip around the world in a few kilometres. Oh, this is like concrete roads with expansion seals. I dread these roads. Again, I can hear it, but do you know what? It's like listening to the car next door going over them. I can feel it over these really big ones. Yeah. Just a little bit. It's getting used to the fact that the body is effectively flying over the wheels. All cars dread this. So what I'm hearing is not corresponding with what I'm feeling. I can hear the noise of tyres going over Belgian pave. This is where the fact that the hydraulic pumps are located at the wheels rather than in the centre means they can react quickly, because they're right at the source of where they're needed. And that's why it can do that very quick motion. So it's ironing that Belgian pave flat. Now we've got the ramps coming out, which again, I can hear. And the wheels are very, very quickly. On a big lump, they've got more time to say, all right, we're going up. Okay, well, we'll compensate, we'll smooth that out by controlling the body. If you've ever filmed something on one of those miniature cameras and put image stabilization on, so the image might be like that, and then and it smooths it all out. That's what this does. Now, I heard that there is a driving mode in this car that can soften the driving inputs. So if you've got a chauffeur driving somebody very important and they're not the best chauffeur in the world, there's a mode that will just soften it. If they're driving like this, it'll soften it a bit. Actually, even when you do that, it's wow. So this is, I'm now cornering on a really lumpy, bad road. And even then, if I'm doing that, that's crazy. It's changed. I can see the direction changing, but I can't feel it through the body. I've driven other cars with fully active suspension, and there's a sense almost of the body is floating over the wheels. And this feels more connected. This feels more like the car and wheels are still one. Oh, now hang on. That's a really narrow gap, and I'm in. But because I can make that turn sharp because of the rear wheel steering, it can point in more quickly. Careful, chaps. Silent, enormous car coming up. I've driven, as you know, a lot of cars. But it's kind of a new generation, isn't it? Things are going to change. I set out to examine NIO's claim that their big car can do the job of a luxury MPV, SUV, and sedan. So let's break that down. Space is one form of luxury, and it's got that. I could live in it, and if I did, I'd have a comfortable bed, I could enjoy massages, and just being generally soothed and pampered. But it's not a house, it's a vehicle. It moves, and that's when things become really refreshing. The fully adaptive suspension system on this car means control. And that's a form of luxury. As the driver, well, we wouldn't talk about the handling characteristics of an SUV, but because it's in control of its body, you're in control of it. And in sport mode, it's startling. But then in the rear seat, it softens the jagged edges of the world outside, makes sharp, small bumps into gentle, graceful rolling hills. That really is luxury. So I'd say, yes, it can do all of those jobs, but it can do something more. It's unique, it's in a class of its own. It's a new thing.
Hammond! Hammond! Where is Hammond?
In the desert.